at the same time, completely fucking fun. If I wasn't losing my shit, it would be. Well, I mean, am I wrong?
No.
If you're not slightly losing your crap on a freaking weekly or daily basis, there's something wrong with you because you're not starting out proper.
And A.
You live on your end?
Yep. This is Crazy Peas. I'm TPAW.
I'm Karnage.
And we're going to talk about Loki, some body measurements, whatever comes up in the conversation.
Body measurements first.
But we're going to, I guess we're going to do some body measurements first. Just kind of, measure parts of
Pull
our body.
up on your phone, notepad, since you got a note, so. Because I made a joke. You got a notepad, right? Because all phones have notepads. Dude, I have a note. Oh.
Yeah, it's basically designed
special bitch note.
For, like, stuff like this.
Yeah. Oh, God, they freaking did that first little bit too tight. That's kind of what she said to me. Too tight, too tight. Shut up, I'll shut you up. That kind of goes into our, this is an adult conversation. You cannot demonetize me because, I mean, hell, even if I put hot tub in it, I mean, we could do that. Even though the signal's not all that great at the hot tub.
Yeah, the signal's kind of shit at the hot tub.
Yeah, that would be a funny hot tub. Okay, first is neck.
Okay. So what are we doing? Just wrapping around her neck?
No, not that tight, not that tight. Wrong neck, wrong neck. I'm measuring the girth for you women. Even though I bet she wouldn't like that. It's, you do it on me, so that way you can tell me where my number is.
Okay.
Like, hold the 1, and then wherever it lines up. So, it looser. Like, because you don't want to do it tight, you just want to do it.
It looks like it's about 16 and a half.
16 and a half inches?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Because I already know it's inches. Oh wait, I forgot to add something to this. 1 second. Well, no, I gotta add the date, because if I don't, I'll forget when the fuck we measured ourselves.
Yeah.
And so that way, also, it's a weekly measurement.
Yep.
Okay, you got your notepad up?
Yeah.
Put the date, so that way you know what date it is.
Okay.
And then it's, yeah, neck, however you want to space
So
it or whatnot.
June 20th, 2021.
21st.
Well,
we're past midnight, so I just do it by that. Because, I mean, next time we'll be doing it on the stream if we can work out our Saturdays, because our Saturdays haven't worked the last couple of weeks. That's not tight. You're at 16 inches.
okay.
And then here's going to be the hard one for you for the sitting down part. I mean, it'll be easy for me. I'll just have to shift closer to you. I never put inches because that's what we measure. And we don't measure in millimeters. I mean, in centimeters. Although we could because I have the centimeter there. But it's, okay. You put it on this shoulder.
Yeah.
And basically it's
like that.
Yeah.
It's all amateur when it comes to this, by the way, guys.
The behind.
Okay.
Now, hang on a sec. I gotta get it on. No. It's sliding up on the shoulder.
Slide up and down the girth. Alright, so it looks like that's about 49.
49?
Yeah.
Alright. And I think you have this.
So, shoulders.
For me, is 49.
49.
Well, we ain't measured yours. Don't be putting mine in yours.
No, I'm not. I have 2 different sections. One for you, one for me.
You're doing what I used to do with Nifa. I stopped doing that. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to measure me. If Thomas wants to keep track of both, he can. Yeah, but this is basically relax. So just make sure it's on your shoulder on that side.
Okay.
About mid-shoulder. Don't flex, just relax. This is just relaxed. yours is at old. Okay, got a 45 and a half. And next is the fun one. What's your brawl size? I don't know. Let's see. Okay. All right. Help with that.
With your baby size.
What's my gesticles at? Okay, that fucking flipped itself. Alright, well that's fine. If you wanna flip, we can flip it, bitch. Cause there's an inch measurement on both sides. And I'm trying to use the chair to hold it straight. Which will help. Alright, I cannot see exactly what it is. Okay. Is it, no, just, is it centered or is it sloping down at all in the back, or is it actually a straight line?
No, it's a straight line.
Okay. 42 and a half. Okay, I like that. I don't have to have somebody else for that one. No, I mean, it makes it easier for me. It's like, no, I can measure my own chest. Yay! Don't start with that shit. Oh, and the whole bicep thing, it's just going to be doing this, not a full-on flex. But I mean, you get a partial with that. Measure your tits, homie. Find your one. No. Put the one on the nipple. Okay. And then I'll just keep track of it, make sure it's the same level all the way around.
Okay.
That's not one. One's on this side. You flip-flopped it. Okay. Now from there. Now wherever it's meeting the line. Yeah, do it like that. No, don't pull tight. It's just, you're at a 44.
Okay.
It hit at 44. Okay, now first, this is where I will need your help. Whatever the and wherever the silver meets the silver, biggest part of my bicep. Yeah, that's where it's at. So wherever the silver is.
Silver?
Yeah.
Wherever, so it'd be
wherever it's meeting the very front part of the silver.
14. So the very tip of the silver?
Yeah.
So 14 was about 14.25.
14 and a quarter?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, bitch.
So we're doing on this arm then?
Yeah.
So just go left bicep, right bicep?
Yeah, just try to find the most. Oh. Left tricep. Left, right. And then it's left, right.
So.
Try to find the center of your bicep. Is that center?
I think so. Hold on.
Yeah. Just try to find the center. 14 and a half. So you're a little bit bigger than I am. But that's also you trying to go more intense than me. It's like, right, we're gonna go intense. Let's go intense. Alright. Measuring your own biceps where I have issues. It's issues. No, it's not issues. It's an issue. And her name is Issue Bitch. Okay. Excuse my French. And I don't give two shits.
Excuse my French, followed by I don't give two shits.
Well, not usually. They cost too much. Why would I give somebody a shit? I'll take a shit. Okay, that one's at 14. I literally, like, okay, I saw it, and then it's like, bye! I'm out, bitch! Fucker.
So that's the other side. I flipped it again.
I flipped her. She doesn't like being on her head like that. So, just find the thickest point.
I think that's the thickest point.
I think you moved it over here, but okay. So, 14 and a quarter. You always have one that's a little bit smaller. Yeah, see, you're pushing down. Just relax. Yeah, this one's at 14 too.
Okay.
Yeah, there's always a slight difference.
Yeah.
From one to the other.
That's probably because I've been pushing this arm a lot more recently, trying to get it to measure up.
Yeah, but now you know you need to just start keeping it a constant same workout. Alright, hold down the silver piece. Because I think I have it, scoot it down a little. Because it's not straight. Alright, there we go. Now it's straight. Too tight, but... That was as close as it is to 12. We'll just say 12.
0.8 or 12.
We'll just go with 12. I always round up.
To left wrist. Or left forearm.
Left forearm. Because right here. Your forearm.
Yeah.
Just get it at the thickest spot.
There's got to be some entertaining content for you guys.
Well, on mine, that's why I did the hashtag positivity. Look at your wife. And then all the memes. That is so my sister. Hi, sissy. Put it like right here. Thickest part of your forearm is the proper measurement.
So,
You're at 11 and a half.
11.5.
Nothing wrong with that. And either she's trying to talk to us downstairs or somebody's thingy's going off. Told you not to bring that up in front of the kids. Shut up, bitch. And this is where I hate measuring on the right because I can never quite get it tight. Alright, hold down the silver so that way I can try to pull it to a decent regular tightness. 12 and a fourth. From my right. Which says something because my right bicep is a hair smaller than my left bicep, but my right forearm is yours is the same.
11 and a half.
At least it's consistent, homie. Am I consistent? Hell no. Do I want to be? Maybe. You'll never know.
I wrote down boobies for the pecs.
No. Pectorals. Actually, I just wrote down chest. It's pectorals or chest. Because chest, it doesn't matter what sex you are. That is universal for breasticles or, you know. Okay, abdomen. Is that mid? Yeah, that's mid. Not good. Add an extra inch to my shirt. Fuck off!
Not that your shirt adds an inch, it adds like a centimeter.
I will take what I can get. 43. Because it's also, can't exactly flex that like I want to. Now this is where you ladies might have the fun show because we're going to take off our pants to measure our thighs and calves.
Oh, fuck.
You won't get to see it, but there's a little titillating for you. What did I say for mine? 43 and a half. That's right.
Oh, bitch. 44 and a half.
That was a third. You've shrunk it a little. It was a third. Alright, now the fun part. I can take off my pants. Oh my god, this is weird. Actually, no, it's not. we're two dudes. Now, if there was a bunch of women, my pants probably would have came off sooner, but we don't discuss that in public. Oh, wait, too late. How often do we discuss shit like that anyway on podcast? And gentlemen's night on fucking gym and shit. Ugh. Yeah, because I'm actually wearing fucking pants.
I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah, I decided not to wear my shorts, which was actually a good thing, because when I fell earlier at Jose's, I mean, you saw it, right?
Yeah.
But we're doing left to right again.
Tim flashed me with his thighs, just so you know.
My thunder thighs.
Now I just flashed my thigh, so it's fair.
It's all fair in love and titties. Unless you're gonna be one of those assholes. You mean breasticles? You know what? It's called breasts. And you know what? I don't care what the whole moderation and that crap. Y'all can shut the hell up for one simple fact is that is its legal and medical term. It is a breast. Why? Because it produces milk. So, let's see. 22 and 2/3. Yeah, but on my thighs, I get real specific on this thigh. I gotta get good on the size. If I don't have the right size. Excuse me, something tickled my throat. On the thigh, she's not gonna want to play with the rest of you.
If it just wasn't Teresa's dick this time.
Fuck you, hooker. I'll kick your ass. Plus, I'm sorry, I'm a good enough fag. I don't choke on dick. There you go. No. You pull it tight. When it was loose, it was like 22 and a fourth or 22 and a half.
Okay.
Ah. Just go with the fourth. Because you were slightly losing your grip on a couple spots. Okay. Cooperate. Gotta get at the. Nope. Not like that.
So it's like left cat or left thigh, right thigh.
Yeah. And then left calf, right. I mean left calf, right calf. So that's at 23 and a third for my right. Yeah, my right one's bigger. That makes sense. 23 and a third. I didn't think it was that much bigger.
I'm not fat, I'm big boned.
No, motherfucker, I just got thick thighs. And there are the thunder thighs, they're not the bitch thighs. They're not small. Get that proper thigh measurement. Make sure she sees all of that thigh, mama. Show those thighs. And I know you hookers like the deep.
Oh wait, I flipped it.
He's flipping it underneath. He doesn't know which way he's going. That's not her nipples. What? She gonna kill you. You're at about a 23, 22 and a... Yeah. No, 22 and 3/4. So not that much different. Yeah. Not that much difference in yours. See, here's where I always have the trouble, because I have trouble, like, flexing my calves. So, no matter what, it's always left calf.
That is so weird to have that much difference.
No, it's not. It's actually pretty normal. But I mean, look at how much actual difference it is. So, 12. Oh wait, that was my right, not my left. Oops. There. Oh well, I'll just measure them both. Fuck it. Since I'm already right here. Use it there because it's a stick point. And they're both the same because my calves are fucking tiny. 12 inches on both. I'll be happy when both my calves are at fucking like 15 inch. 15 inch calves. Enter.
Got about 15 on the left.
Nice. done for now. So that is first time we've ever measured ourselves. Now it's time to pull up my pants. Sorry, sweet ladies. If there's anybody other than Hamburger. Here's open. We get that one, those one or two chicks that came in at 3 a.m. Oh, take off your shirts. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh. Yeah, remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
Freaking, God, what was that, 2 months?
Yep. The 15 and a
We were
quarter.
just sitting there shooting this shit, but I realized it was 3 o'clock in the morning. We got 2 freaking late night gagglers popping in going, oh! Like, goddamn, woman.
15 and a quarter on the right calf.
So what was the difference in movement?
0.25.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's within range. But the calves, I'm getting more of a workout with the calves from doing the bikes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but those are on the days I put it up at 20 because I gotta push so hard.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Hello, one viewer. I hope you have been having a good night tonight. I hope that we've been slightly entertaining with our measurements.
Yeah, right.
But today we're going to talk about Loki. We just did the measurements part of the stream. We're going to talk about Loki, and now that we've gotten 22 minutes into the stream,
Right?
we're talking about
20
Loki.
minutes of us measuring ourselves.
So for all who don't know, in the internets of the web nuts, Loki Disney dropped a new mini series called Loki. It's supposed to be 6 episodes, and the first 2 episodes have already aired. So if you have not seen the show yet, go watch it. But we probably will end up spoiling it. So
Yeah, most definitely.
because we're not going to spend like 2, 3, 4 minutes talking about the episode and then just like not spoiling anything. So we're gonna end up going on tangents and shit.
Oh,
But yeah. So as far as the series goes, so far the first 2 chapters, what did you think of them?
the first 2 episodes, well, okay, the first episode was a little bit better than the second episode because we slightly talked about it the other day.
Yeah,
How
gotta admit that.
we didn't like the way they kind of turned it. Where in the first episode, you're learning about the TVA
Mm-hmm.
and their mythos on their creation and whatnot. And we also learn about the how Loki is somebody that the chick that's supposed to be, like kind of she's the one who came and got his ass.
Yep.
And they call him a variant because he's the one that changed the timeline. It's like, and you're bitching me, but I mean, the Avengers, they were doing it. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have got the Tesseract and I wouldn't have changed the timeline. You can't blame me. Actually, they were supposed to be there. He finds out on the first episode. Wait, so it's okay for them to travel in time? Well, when the gods of time say it is, then yes.
Yeah.
And he all sorts of butthurt about that one. And then him running around and the one chick, or what's the actor's name?
You mean Owen Wilson?
Thank you. Yeah, that's the guy who helps Loki out.
Yep.
He decides to get Loki to help him. He doesn't tell him what for at first.
Yep.
But he's talking to Loki, showing him points of his life and showing him that, well, when the timeline, because we've already fixed it, the way it's going to go, you're going to do this, and it's going to cause the death of your mother. I call bullshit. I would never, da-da-da. No, you were trying to get him to take out Thor, but that's not what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
And shit. And it looks like my stream's going hiccup. That pisses me off. Well, no, I mean, it pisses me off because my phone was overheating and this thing, so you're going to be seeing my computer next week.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not, because I ain't got the money to get the capture, blah, blah. But I wonder if I use this as my... Okay, yeah, I'll just use this as my camera.
Yeah. So
Since my phone keeps overheating.
Yeah. The first episode, I feel like, was...
I like the ending where he told him, no, I need your help, Loki. The reason
Yeah.
I'm actually helping you is to help me catch the second Loki.
First
Wait,
episode...
there's another Loki?
Yeah, first episode was kind of like issue number 0. for me. Like it was,
It's the
let's
filler.
let's lay the groundwork for how the story's gonna go. Let's lay the groundwork for where we're probably gonna take this series, and let's
Give
tell you
you
a bunch of
hints here and
information
there.
as to how the rules of this world are. That there's no magic. That it's all just a very sterile world compared to the rest of the MCU, and let's
I
introduce the
didn't
character
like
like an
that,
Easter
but
egg
that also
Miss Minutes.
that made sense.
Which, by the way, Miss Minutes was played by Tara Strong. For those who
Oh,
don't know,
shit.
she is a massive alumni. But
Who?
basically, Tara Strong. Um,
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah,
no.
and she played Miss Minutes.
good.
And so, and Owen Wilson is actually one of my favorite parts of this entire series so far. The
Right.
first episodes, like he
I
down
love
to
his
like
character.
like there's Wedding Crashers Owen Wilson, and then there's like most 2000s new millennia teen or party flicks that Owen Wilson always plays in, or there's the other versions of Owen Wilson where he's just like he's all like, "Hey man, wow," like he's that Owen Wilson. This Owen Wilson's more like grizzled. He's kind of like salt, aged salt and pepper. He's just like I want to know where you come from and why you do what you do, and then like he like shows Loki parts of his life, and Loki gets to watch like the highlight reel of his life up to the point of his death.
Well, it's not even highlight reels of his life. It's highlight reels in the MCU movie universe.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the mixtape of Loki. It's like down to like you get to watch your mom die. Like this is what happened after you did this thing that caused the elves to invade and caused the dark elves to do what they were doing, and it caused your mom to get killed. Like this is not only like your highlights, but this is like your greatest hits of your biggest failures, and like down to like
I like the one scene he showed him.
Yeah, which one?
Where we find out Loki's actually DB Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Loki's DB Cooper.
Yep.
That part I'm like, you know what? That so fits the Loki character.
Yeah,
for the MCU.
Character. Yeah, it was actually a review I was watching from Jeremy Johns where he's just like, there's a part in the show where they find out he's DB Cooper, and I just thought it was so great that they revealed that he's DB Cooper. Like, it's just DB Cooper, man. And I'm just like watching this, and I'm like, okay. So then I watched that element, and I'm like, oh shit.
It makes sense to the point of we never found out who he is. We don't know anything about him. Yeah. I mean, it fits with the mythos of the DB Cooper mythos.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And I thought it was pretty trippy on the fact that like he's got to wear like that collar, and then you find out about the time machine little mechanism, the little remote, and then he like because the one chick was being a total asshole towards him and kept
she was being complete bitch.
And so he gets a hold of the remote and he like keeps pressing it over and over again just to see what it's gonna do, and then she like.
Well, no, I like it that he figured out how to use it in the way of she's. To move himself.
Yeah.
So that way he could.
He's like continuously over and over again, just as like over and over again, rewinding her.
But I love
and she like mid sentence just keeps going, Loki, I will, and then like she just kept going on.
Would you stop doing
yeah,
that?
It's like
would you stop?
Yeah, every single time he pressed the button, like every single time it was like she'd say one word and be like, "Would you stop doing that, please, right now?" And like this. I was dying. I was laughing so hard during that part.
Oh yeah, no. That part to me was just that's fucking hilarious.
I loved it. It was so great. It's like that's how you get the most petty revenge on someone who's being a total dick to you. You just like make them get stuck into a spiral loop of time. It's like it's a pure Loki moment too. Like he's a trickster and he's sitting there pulling the biggest prank on her, and she was just a dick to him. So she's like, it's like one of those reminders of watch who you're being a dick to, because they just might get the remote to force you into a time loop.
Forever, bitch.
Yes.
Don't forget, I'm Loki. I do shit and steal things out of everybody's pockets.
And so one thing I also want to comment on in
this
this story is that Loki kind of goes through like this existential crisis, and like they put him into that road early on, because this is, gotta remember, this is the Loki they pulled out of in Endgame, where they went through time. They did the time travel thing. Yes, they did.
Right before the end of the first event.
That's what I was getting to. You jumped ahead. So Loki gets pulled out of the first Avengers timeline, like the movie series, and so he gets taken out of that timeline and put in this new one, which is kind of funny because they keep talking about timelines and they keep talking about like different dimensions and things like that, and how each one branches off, and so they've got a card the sacred timeline, which is the one pure timeline, and so. He takes and they take him out of that timeline, and then they put him through a series of like experiences. So you don't get the same Loki that's in Ragnarok or the same one that's in like Age of Ultron or any of those others, but you get like a version of him that's like condensed, like again with a mixtape of events. Like he's got like this little tape roll of his timeline, and he watches it, and he's sitting there. There's a part of the episode where he's just sitting there watching the same clips over and over again, and then rewinding them and fast forwarding them, down to the point where he stops at the one where it's a freeze frame of the Avengers, and of course he like looks at the camera, like looks at the screen with like the biggest disgust, like whole like Loki scoff of mischief of like, ugh. And then he sees like Hulk and stuff, and then Wilson's character comes in and talks to him, and then he asks him, he's like, "Do you like hurting people?" And he's like, "What do you mean? I don't like hurting people." And he's like, "Every single time that you're on one of your timelines, you're always hurting someone." And like he frequently brings it up in the next second episode because he's like, "I would never stab you in the back." And he's like, "You in the time span of the last several ever of your character, of your history, you've stabbed people in the back at least a minimum of 50 times. Like that's just what you do." And he like brings that up, and and this is when Loki's trying to use the salad analogy to convince him of, you know, that we're reviewing both of them. So I jumped from timeline of him looking at his timeline arc to salad Loki trying to do the salad analogy and like
Not
putting milk in it.
Armageddon.
Yeah, he like uses salad as like analogy for Armageddon, and he's like,
Yeah, because
like,
he uses
so
salt and pepper
this
to
is-
ruin the guy's salad with the
he's
drink.
like, "Can I see this real quick?" He's like, "No, you can't see my salad." He's like, I'm gonna toss your salad." He's like, "No, don't toss my salad." And he goes, "No, I'm gonna show you what it's like to have an Armageddon." He's like, "I don't want it. I want that salad. Give me that salad." And then he like takes some guy's milk, and he's like putting like all these little things into the salad. Then he uses
It's
milk.
the guy from the first episode
Yeah,
who
no,
got pissed
yeah,
at the big Raleigh bitch who's trying to basically erase Loki
yes,
because she, while trying to get Loki, because he ends up moving himself,
Yeah.
because he still has the little thing
Yeah,
on his
the
neck
collar.
at the very beginning of the
the
first
empowerment
episode.
collar. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got the control for it, so he uses it to zap back to the room where the other guy was holding him.
Yep.
And the funny part is, because he does that, it ends up, she ends up destroying the go-kart, or the push cart he has. But the funny part is, in the push cart, Loki sees, like, what was it, 2 of the blue Infinity Stones, 2 reds, 1 yellow, and like 1 green, and the guy's like, "Oh
That
no,
was a
those
fun
come here all the time.
That was a fun
A
moment.
few of the guys use them as paperweights."
The entire history of Loki before was to collect all of those little baubles, those little gemstones, and they were supposed to grant great power, and which funnels into his "I am burdened with a great purpose," Loki.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so when he sees that drawer and he opens it up, he looks at it and he's like so mystified, and then it's like absolute disappointment and just like,
Slight pistis too.
oh,
He's
I have
angry.
spent my entire life trying to search for these things, and
And
there
then
they
you're
are.
like,
Right
"Get
here.
out here."
And
Yeah.
they're like, no, they're virtually useless. And then like he's sitting there in the
But see,
room.
my thing is though,
Yeah,
where's the department where all the stuff that they collect from the variants? Since clearly they have all those stones, and he's like, "Oh no, these are just a few of them. They're all over the fucking place."
yeah,
Where's the room where they take the evidence? And in one of those rooms is there an infinity gauntlet without the stones, because the stones are classified in other parts. So could you go to the TVA? I mean, since he already got out with the other Loki on the end of episode 2,
yeah. I went through
funny
a portal.
part is, because she has a little thing that opens the doorways, could they open a doorway into the TVA, because they're not going to show a variant at the TVA as part of the variant in the timeline? Go there, find the Infinity Gauntlet, get the stones. Loki from the MCU gets his, and the female Loki, which we'll get to in a minute for episode 2, gets her own, and then they all separate into their own
Timelines.
separate universes. And because they have their own Infinity Gauntlet, they have their own timeline and use that to make it so that way each timeline's stable.
No, I could see that, and what I would really be interested in seeing is to see how, because spoilers, the Sacred Timeline gets bombed. Like, she just straight up just drops a giant nuke on the Sacred Timeline, which is what
Well,
he
it's
was
not
referring
even
to.
a nuke. It's like they have the little bombs that are supposed to clear the variants out of the timeline so that way it'll go back to normal.
Yeah.
And she drops them, and because of their little teleporters slash doors that they use to get to whatever timeline where the variant is, or to go get something or fix whatever it is.
Yep.
The thing is, she dropped, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I counted 16 to 20 in the episode.
Yeah, there was like a lot of bombs.
Oh, yeah. And Loki, regular Loki, at first thought that she was trying to blow them all up. And she's like, hey, you're a dumbass, you're slow. This is why I'm the superior Loki. One, because she's a chick, of course she's going to say that. Two, she just thought it out for longer because apparently she's had dealings with the TVA before.
Yep.
I think that has to do with the story at the very beginning. No, there was a which timeline is the actual timeline in the multiverse? But the gods of the TVA decided to.
Yes, Kushal Bhatkar, definitely tell us what about an interesting Loki theory if you're still there, my dude.
Sorry, we missed you a few minutes back.
Yeah, we were.
Well, actually,
talking
no.
Stuff.
What's I say? 22. Okay, 2
Yeah,
minutes
so it was
back.
like 10
Sorry.
minutes back. Sorry, guy. But yeah,
We got into the conversation. My bad.
yeah, we get sort of sucked into our tangents and stuff. But what about the interesting Loki theory, my dude?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm surprised.
We'll keep talking and stuff, but we're waiting for him to chime in. I'll see him chiming in.
Set it up like right here or something, or set it up so that way it's sitting up, so that way we can see when he types, or you can.
Yeah. Well, that's why I had it up there, but yeah.
And then you moved it.
Yeah, no,
yeah, you did that like 2 weeks ago, and then today you just said.
It's because we haven't done this for like 3 weeks almost.
No, it's only been 2 weeks because we missed last week for I don't remember what the fuck the reason was. Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about that too, but there was just other stuff.
Yeah.
So
I have a thing I'm gonna do.
No, like on my camera, how I have big enough hands. Look. You use the book. Free advertisement.
On Amazon.
Hide behind the book.
On Amazon.
No, but I mean, what was it? Variant on YouTube also made a comment about, and you didn't see it till the second episode where they show them all the different variants of the Lokis.
Yep.
That have been part of the comic book series over and over and stuff.
Yeah.
But that one of them is a variant that never got caught because it's the chick Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And the chick Loki's a little bit more devious and vengeful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a chick thing. Okay, just remember, just because I didn't catch you when you did it, doesn't mean I'm not going to catch you doing it again, and I'm going to hold that against you for the rest of your life. It's like, damn, dude, like, let shit go, homie, relax. But I mean, that's more of a chick thing than a guy thing. We don't hold on to shit.
Yeah.
For the most part. I guess they always.
You know, one of my favorite parts of the entire 2 episodes, and this is still a favorite part of my the entire season so far.
Go for it.
The part where they go to that one place in the history timeline, and and Loki lets the goats go, and they go to that apocalypse timeline. Pompeii or Pompeii or something
Pompeii.
like that. Yeah,
Pompeii. And where were they first decided, because it's
not even the sheer
big
fact
volcano,
that,
it's where they came up with the word for volcano in Greek, I think it is.
Yeah.
So
well, it's back in the time frame in which
it's in BC, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's sometime way back then, way the fuck back then. But I liked that part a lot because it was so funny and just so like it reminded me of Good Omens for a brief moment.
Okay, yeah, I get
where
that.
Like they go back in time and Loki's trying to prove to him that everything they do has no consequence. Everything they do has no consequence and can't be tracked on the with the TVA. And then he pulls up the monitor. He's like, no activity, nothing, no consequence. And he's just like, I told you, no consequence. We're good. And I'm just like watching this. I'm like,
Prove my point, bitch.
oh shit! Now that you proved that, Loki's gonna do a bunch of other shit.
You have no clue, nigga.
I feel like they need to actually amp up his level of antics and his mischief, because like I know that they have like their entire MCU they have to try and adhere to, but it would be so much more fun if like by the time we got done with this series, and then by the time we got to Doctor Strange, nothing was the same.
Multiverse?
Yeah, nothing is the same anymore because he fucked up everything. He's just like,
see, it's technically not him because it's the chick version of him. Loki with tits.
But you've got.
But
Loki,
I mean, no, but it's the same. But see, that's also why like the intro to the show.
Yeah.
The like first was it 30 seconds of the show?
Yeah.
It's the spelling Loki, but with all the different scripts with O and I and K and L.
Hence that design right there on the podcast screen. Yeah.
Well, that one on yours. But I'm saying for the show that they run through like 15 different versions of the whole Loki and whatnot.
Yep.
And I think that's cool because I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's perfect. Because even before they said, I need your help to catch another Loki, because when, you're going to have to remind me of his name again, brain fart.
You mean?
The officer dude.
My brain is
not Loki, the
Hold on. I am going to find out. I've got Google. Google is my friend.
Google is our bitch.
Well,
and she's the Fantastic Four. Loki cast.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Mobius.
Yeah.
Officer Mobius.
Mobius, thank you.
I'm just going to hold off to the side just because you know it's right there.
Oh, that's fine. See him. But yep. Mobius, because he's the, when he is looking to see who's doing the variant,
yeah.
At the very first point where you're finding out they're chasing a specific variant that has been bouncing between the timelines and shit.
Yep.
You find out, and been taking out the TVA officers, killing them and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I like when he shows up and they find the kid in the church.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, who is it? Who did you see? And the kid points to a stained glass picture of Satan.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Loki in the comic book series and in just one of the variants of Loki, he decided to play the role of Lucifer, aka Satan.
Yeah.
And then you had the son of Satan in that little mini comic book strip.
Yeah. I just found something very interesting.
Do we have the chick's name for Loki?
No, I found something very, very interesting that Google just told me. And I don't know if it's going to be true or not.
Which was?
Apparently, according to this, we may actually get a Hulk. We get a Valkyrie.
No. I think they showed that because they showed Phil Coulson. They showed his death scene. And because they showed
everybody was
some of the scenes with the Avengers in it.
But they'd have all the Avengers in here.
They should.
Yeah, like that's the case.
Here, no, scroll up. No, up to this.
I did.
And scroll over.
Okay.
Because I swear there was more names when you had it as the bigger screen.
No, it was just this little cast right here. But on Wikipedia, it just shows those little guys. But
no, scroll down to episodes. You got 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, 3 isn't even listed yet because it hasn't aired yet.
But they've already done it. Some people already know what it is, but they're not allowed to say what it is.
But I have a feeling we may get some more Avengers in this show. That'd be great. It would make sense. I mean, I was watching WandaVision. I'm wondering how many people would show up
on the way of the comics. How many different variants of there are Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor. I'm having a brain fart. Black Widow, and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
How many different variants are there?
There is like probably millions. That's why I'm thinking
like 20
that.
or 30 that are the main known.
Well, that's what they said in the show, is that they're main known. That's the key fact, is known. You know, they'll probably discover more of them as the series goes on, however many episodes that is. They
I
said
think
six,
that's what the
but
bombs were set off for.
yeah, you think
That's
what
why they also said it's only going to be a 6 episode. Why? Because it basically launches us. I think this is the one that launches us into the Doctor Strange multiverse, which will be coming out in the next like 6 months. For a movie.
Second season is in development apparently.
Oh yeah.
So they're gonna do like a first 6 episodes, then they'll do Doctor Strange, and then they'll do another 6 or 8 episodes of second
next
season.
year.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee it'll be next year at the end of the year.
Do you know how cool it's gonna be if we find out that like they've got like
second seasons for all of
they've
the
got
series?
like all these different like series going on at the same time as the movies, and then like Disney and Marvel just sort of turn into like that network type thing where you're just seeing like nonstop content.
But you just watch it all on Disney Plus because everybody got so used to hiding out at their houses instead of going to the movies.
Because it's like you had like this system where it was like
be putting them out in
5 movies per era.
Because they still want to make their big bucks for people going and seeing it at the IMAX or whatever.
Yeah, because you had all these different, like, there's like 5, 10, 15 movies, or 20 movies in the entire 3 phases. So you had like 6 to 8.
Oh, yeah.
6
I saw that on
per
Disney Plus, how they have
Avengers
it categorized for the Marvel movies. Oh, yeah. I like the way they categorized it. The only thing I don't like, and it's because it's not the same actor for the Hulk. For the one that's supposed to be the one for the MCU that went with it, because that actor either had an issue or screw you guys, I don't want to play the Hulk, I'm going to be stuck in that role.
Yeah.
But the other actor they got to play that role was like, no, that's cool.
But this season is going to be a 6-hour movie, essentially, just like how Captain America Winter Soldier and just like how WandaVision was, except WandaVision was like 10 episodes, 9 episodes. So you've got like a nice decent sized.
But see, I also think it depends on how close it gets to the movie.
Yeah, well, the last episode of both WandaVision and Captain America Winter Soldier was like watching a movie. It was just like an hour a piece, and it was like watching a giant movie.
Oh, yeah.
And like down to the part where like in Captain America Winter Soldier, when the guy is going and attacking that one super soldier, and he like cuts off his head, like it just severs his head and everything, and you're just like, holy fuck, he went there. And it was like a big movie moment.
Yeah, but it for me, I knew it was gonna go there instantly because they were talking about how the super serum just makes you more you than you like to show everybody.
Yep. Well, that was an interesting element they introduced in that show, is the fact that
plus he done, what was it,
Captain America was who
2
Captain
or 3
America was, but
in
not everybody's
freaking
like
Iraq.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you automatically have that mentality in the back of your mind. You just have to force yourself not to be that way all the time because you're trying to be back with normal people. Which is also why a lot of our soldiers... Well, no, that's also why a lot of our soldiers are homeless and shit, because they can't get back into the flow of being a normal, everyday life style. But some of them can. And I understand that, and I get that. But at the same time, I get it from both points of view how some can. Because Russell, before he fell on his head, my dad... Before he fell on his head and busted his head in the concrete.
Yeah.
Mom said he was almost back to normal Russell before Marines sort of thing. Going back to the Russell everybody always talked about before he went to the Marines.
Yeah.
But once he fell on his head, he basically died for a little while because he was brain dead. And like your mom had made a comment about, okay, that means his soul is split. Yeah, he's stuck with the soul he's got now because he was basically brain dead.
Yeah.
But that's also where my belief my partial belief, because I'm not like 100%, I'm like 70% for the LDS Church, because some of it's not even the LDS Church, it's Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, not LDS, because the LDS Church is different than the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, just like the Mormons are different than the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It depends on what you put yourself as categorized.
Yeah.
And I categorize myself as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, not this LDS or Mormon shit. Because when you categorize yourself differently, it also changes your viewpoint on the whole religious thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, the original line and the original script, if you read the originals of how it was written and the rules and whatnot, compared to how it's written and some of the rules and the way people think about it nowadays,
Yeah.
it's like two completely different freaking churches. One, and two, it's two completely different organizations.
So I found it interesting. While you're talking about
But
that, there is no Hulk on here on IMDb. So either he isn't gonna
But
show
see,
up
that's
at all,
why I said
or
on the Google they just say it because they were in that scene for the
they were in
being
that
back
found
in the
footage
past
thing.
on the first episode and him getting the Tesseract.
It was a found footage thing.
But I also like in the first episode where you see the Tesseract, they bring it through the after she grabs him and takes him through the door.
Yeah.
That takes him to the TVA, basically bubble universe world.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Tesseract at full glow, and then it turns to like fucking oh look, the battery's half dead on your LED.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, or look, it's a shittier LED.
One of my favorite parts of the entire one episode was when he's sitting against the wall and he's like tossing the Tesseract up and down like it's a ball, and like it's virtually useless, and he's just like having that moment of just pure like existential crisis because he spent his entire existence looking for the damn thing and then trying to find all the other pieces, and now it's like, oh, they're useless now, so now he has to rethink of his life.
It's not even rethink of his life. It's like, okay, well now collecting these were fucking pointless.
Right, and it's like it's such an interesting place to find this character Loki in, because the last we see him, he tells Thanos, you know, you're not gonna ever be a god. Then Thanos kind of smirks at him and then kills him, and then suddenly we see this Loki from the first Avengers movie, like before all that character growth, kind of sent onto like this giant tangent of character growth.
And not just that, on a path which puts him at where Loki was at that movie.
Yeah, like
it auto clicks him into that point for the simple fact of him seeing his future makes him realize who he really is.
Yeah, it kind of makes him like really rethink where he's at, and just kind of like, okay,
and
so
himself personally.
This is where I am. This is I really have another chance to do this again and hopefully do it better this time.
Oh yeah.
Especially the part where like you notice how like when he watched that one found footage with where Thor was talking to him in that movie, the Ragnarok, and telling him how he loved his brother and everything. Like that kind of clicked things, because before in the first movie he didn't get that. Instead he was just like in that whole contention perspective of
shut
like
your douchebag.
Yeah. That like he had that whole.
Because no matter what I do, you always win, asshole.
Yes, and so he was in that.
But I liked that.
He was in that He had that immature-ish perspective of like, there was no like he was at that point of like, you know how you have two teenagers competing against each other. He was the mischief one, and so in this series he gets to see that and he gets to be like, oh, that's possible. Like I get to.
Well, but I also like it that it's not just the possibility of it; it's him explaining to Owen Wilson, Mobius, that I don't hurt people because I want to hurt people. I hurt people because that's part of what I do. That's just the part to get to the next step of the plan. I have to hurt people to get to the next step of the plan, or I'm basically just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, watch everything happen around me instead of being part of it.
Not to mention where he talks about how the trick that he does is to bring out the strength in the weak, and he's like pointing to himself when he says the word weak, because he sees himself as that, and yet everyone thinks
compared
he's telling
to Thor.
When he says, but then he like looks. Everyone thinks that he's talking about everyone else around him, and they think that he's just sounding like this pretentious dickwad, and really he's talking about himself, and that's what I found interesting.
And he knows that he doesn't like being who he's been classified as. He hates everybody seeing him as the asshole, but it's the kind of. Well, that's the role I was given. I didn't get a fucking choice.
Yeah, like he basically is kind of like Lucifer on Lucifer. Like
I
like,
didn't get a choice, bitch.
I'm gonna
just
be what everyone thinks I am and just own it and do it well. And
until he falls in love with Chloe.
He spends like this entire time. Loki spends this entire time identifying and exemplifying everything everyone tells him he is. And now in this series, like this last 2 hours of the series, he's just like, wait, I can just be whoever I want to be. Holy shit! Like this is like a giant like moment here. Like
I also like how he told the female Loki, he's like, no, I'm trying to get to the TVA gods,
Yep.
the timekeepers, so that way I can fix it. And the other Loki, the female Loki's like, motherfucker, you're thinking too small.
Yeah. Like, she basically tells him that he's stupid. And he's just like...
And this is why you are the inferior Loki. I'm not inferior. Yeah, you are, because you're just thinking about it from your point of view. I want to be in charge to fix shit.
And I find it funny because they're both talking smack to each other, and yet they're both stupid.
Well, they're both playing the same goddamn role. It's just they're playing it from different perspectives.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is they're both slow. They're both not realizing that they're both playing the same fucking game. And
if they work together,
yeah,
move a lot faster. Actually, I think that's what our regular Loki, was the one we're, you took it away from names. Okay.
Hold on. I'll be right back. There we go.
Tom
Hiddleston.
That Loki's point of view of, well, we have to do that so that way we can protect the stupid and small. And the other Loki's like, no, my whole timeline got deleted by these assholes, so I'm just here to fucking kick them in the nuts. But I mean, if you think about it like that, then okay, so you're basically doing what I do to Thor, because he's an asshole and he gets all the credit, even if I was there to help him.
Yep.
Sort of situation. It's like, y'all both playing the same game, just from a different fucking goddamn who your bad guy is, or who the guy you're trying to keep even in with, or break even with.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Fucked you completely.
That's funny how it's all working too, because it's just like they're gonna get to the point.
Story, it's just they have different bad guys.
Well, next episode's halfway through the series.
Tom Hiddleston is going after Thor, or female Loki, which I don't know. Did they give her name on here?
Sophia DiMartino, but she's called Variant Loki.
Or is that? Oh, there it is. Yeah,
right there. It's just called Variant Loki, and on IMDb it's just called The Variant.
Yeah, but I mean, her viewpoint is the TVA fucked her.
Yeah.
Where regular MCU Loki is like, no, it's Thor that fucked us. She's like, I don't give a shit about Thor, because I'm sorry, my Thor's dead too, so fuck these assholes. They took away all my fun I was having. Or at least that's how I see it. It's the child of...
Did she say that Thor was dead? I don't remember that.
If she's the only one out of the timeline, automatically her Thor was killed by the TVA. From her variant.
So so the TVA exterminated everybody from her world, is what you're saying.
Everybody from her timeline, from her multiverse on the timeline. That's what the little like alive slash
I'm gonna
mini
have to rewatch this episode.
Mini the clock bitch.
Yeah. Minutes.
Because it was the multiverse. They had all the different universes where you have the different Lokis. And one
Dude, I'm gonna rewatch this
episode. So
as
soon as they took them all and compressed them, essentially destroying every timeline except for the one that's the MCU timeline.
I'm gonna rewatch this show and it's gonna get a lot darker. Because I'm gonna be like,
because you weren't thinking about it like that, were you?
No, I was not.
This is where
I was watching it.
This is why everybody likes watching us talk about shows, because my viewpoint on what I've seen in the show is different than yours, because I catch different things than you do.
Well, see, I was watching the story and I was watching a lot of that stuff. But after the second or third watch, not only is it going to get darker, but I'm going to catch a lot more Easter eggs and all that.
I've watched the first episode like 3 times already.
Yeah, I've only seen.
That's why I caught that. That's why that part clicked with me in the second episode instantly. Oh, so she's pissed at the TVA like he's pissed at Thor. But she's pissed at TVA because they killed not only her whole universe, they killed her dad, her mom, even though they're only stepdad and mom. They killed her dad, her mom, and her brother, which she's always had a rivalry with, just like this Loki. But that's what he's not understanding. It's not the, I want to take over like you. It's no, I'm pissed at these assholes because they completely fucked everybody and basically killed the people that they're saying they're protecting to the current Loki.
Tony Stark died again.
It's not even Tony Stark. It's Tony Stark, Pepper, fucking... They killed Thanos before Thanos could take over the world. You know, try to take over the universe and get the Infinity Stones. Great. But they also killed Hulk. They killed everyone. They just killed off fucking the whole X-Men series.
Dude,
that's in the alternate universe. They just killed every fucking movie you've watched before this TV show that's not part of the MCU, that is still part of what we consider the Marvel universe that we grew up with.
Yeah.
They killed all of them to make the MCU universe the only universe.
So TPAW are really the biggest dictator dicks in the galaxy right now.
They are. No. Who originally owned the MCU? Fox.
Yeah.
TVA is the fuckers who own Fox. They're the assholes who said X-Men and everything else technically doesn't exist. Fuck you. That's who the fuck they are.
They're like
from the viewpoint of the who makes the movies and shit.
Yeah.
They are Fox.
I just find it funny how every time someone in that world talks about these three god people, like they're always like, "Oh, well, everything's gonna unravel eventually, and they're gonna, we're all doing this thing for the greater good of the sacred timeline," and you're just like, "Who the fuck put you in charge?"
No. But here's the thing, though.
You just kill Iron Man again.
You have
Spider-Man
the three
again.
guys, right?
Yeah.
Who fixed the multi-universe and made it one universe, one timeline.
Yeah.
But think about this. Fox is the original that said, we are the MCU, the rest of you fuckers, fuck you, this is how we're doing it. Then you have Disney, who bought it. Okay, there's two guys. Who's the third one? The original writers for all this shit before it became the MCU. Those fuckers, the writers for the MCU, Fox and Disney. Those are your three main gods. Those are the TVA gods. They're the ones that say the MCU is the only universe that really matters because we're the ones that created it.
That's a really weird, interesting viewpoint. I think you're thinking too deeply about it.
But I mean, from an for me, the way I think about shit, that makes sense to me in my head.
Right.
Because they just killed off everything else that's in any multi-universe that variant the YouTube channel or anybody else talks about that does the Marvel and DC comic books and the different versions of your favorite superheroes and supervillains.
Right. I'm about to look up some shit real quick.
I just got your mind going and I saw you went straight to the internet to look up some shit.
Ew.
But I also threw something out there that you weren't thinking about. You went, wait, what the fuck? I like though that I can do that too.
I'm just like looking at this going, what the fuck? And then like, holy shit.
I just blew your mind in I just blew your brain, huh?
A little bit. Because I'm also thinking of like all these things that are in the Time Variance Authority, the TVA, and like
all the other shit we've seen over the years with the movies that technically it's not part of the MCU, even though it happens.
Right. Let's see.
Like, think about it this way.
Yeah, it's like this is like
Earth,
Air 616.
Earth, 616. But see, it's the Earth. But if you look at it from the DC universe, went into it on one of their movies.
Yeah.
About how if you go back to the Prime Earth for Marvel or DC, the original Earth, the original timeline that broke off into the multiverse.
Yeah.
Actually was destroyed within the first 1,000 years of its creation. The main universe that everybody likes watching, that is the most dominant for DC, even if it's the animated one you watched back in the 90s or the movies you watch now, or even if you pick the series like Gotham.
Yeah.
Those universes, whichever one you pick, the original universe no longer exists because that fucks the whole thing. Okay, get out of this. Look it up on Google for like the TVA. Who are the TVA? Because I think they're supposed to be like the creator gods or whatever. Because I know there's a YouTube video about it and there's other shit. You're gonna bring up too many.
No, I'm not. TVA and Loki. So
in Marvel Comics, there you go. As
here?
mentioned. Well, I'm just saying, read here. Beyond the scope of reality works.
Yeah, it's called the Sacred Timeline.
But see, it's saying the Loki introduced it, but it's saying TVA in Marvel Comics is.
Right. But yeah, Time Variant Authority and Timekeepers explained. No, they just sound like the biggest like dictator douchebags in the galaxy right now.
It's
they're
the
like-
no. This would be your book, but I took your book. I changed the names. I slightly altered it. I wrote a fan fiction about it, but I got it published as a TV show and a movie. So haha, fuck you. Your universe is not canon. Mine is. Do you like or dislike that?
I feel like that's full of shit.
See, because you're the original writer, right?
Yeah.
But that's also like Captain Marvel. With the little kid who says Shazam
Yeah.
and becomes Marvel. But that's
Yeah,
not
that's
the
Marvel,
original Captain Marvel. The
Yeah.
original Captain Marvel was owned by Marvel. But because it was too much like Superman, they had to give it to DC to shut him up at the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at all the differences between Marvel and DC. Which one is the original? Is it Flash? Or is it the one in
TVA is presumably run by a trio of entities called Timekeepers. The show makes their existence ambiguous,
so
as TV employees believe
camera?
in. Camera's being a dick.